here to celebrate an important milestone in all of our lives, graduation. It's a time of reflection, pride, and excitement for what lies ahead. And a time to be seen for our hard work each of us has put in to get to this point. And for that, I think we all deserve a moment to recognize ourselves, even when we accomplish the impossible, like doing an entire assignment minutes before the bell rings. But before we move forward into our next chapter of our lives, I want to talk about something that has been critical not just to my success, but to all of ours as well. And that is the culture of the class of 2026. Culture is often thought of something abstract, something you can't see, but you can feel it. It's the energy in the hallways between classes, the noise of the student section at Friday night lights, the stress before a big test, and even those awkward first day of school moments where no one knows where to sit. It's the way people treat each other, the standards we hold, and the memories we've created together. Culture is not built overnight, and it's not created by one singular person. It's built collectively, day by day, and choice by choice. And what makes me proud of our class is that we didn't just exist within the culture of Tosa West, we helped shape it. When I look back on the memories our class created, I think about how we built a culture that proved showing up mattered. Whether it was filling the seats at West games, supporting our Trojan players' performances, or just being there for someone when they needed it on a rough day. Where I remember in those moments, looking around and realizing something simple. No one had to be there, but we chose to be. And that choice is what made the last 4 years matter, at least to me. Because when people consistently show up for each other, it turns a school into a true community. We built a culture where effort was recognized, not just for the perfect grades or standout performances, but also the behind-the-scene work, the long practices, the late nights, and even those early mornings. Even in those moments, we learn something deeper about ourselves. That effort is one thing we can always control. And when effort becomes the expectation for each other, our growth becomes inevitable. We built a culture of connection. At a place like Tosa West, it would have been easy to stay comfortable, to stick to the same people and routines, but we didn't. I saw people branch out, meet new people, and we created connections that went beyond labels or groups. And sometimes those connections came from the most unexpected places. Because it wasn't really about the situation, it was about the people you were with, laughing through it together. That's what made this place feel like more than just a school, but a culture we all thrived in. And then there's our resilience. It's crazy to think that COVID was early middle school, but it still has affected us so much in our growth, changing our routines, our expectations, and our sleep schedules forever. But even beyond that, we've faced moments here at Tosa West that tested us in real time. The floods earlier this year, safety and human rights concerns throughout the years, and even the annoying construction that never seems to end. All of the experience could have been just a frustrating disruption. Instead, we showed up for each other. We helped each other, supported each other, and adapted together. And in that moment, you could see exactly what our culture was truly made of. Our culture wasn't just about the good days, but also the bad days, showing up when things went wrong. The culture we built didn't happen by accident. It happened because of the choices we made again and again to show up, to put in effort, to connect, and to keep going. Moments like those, whether they're serious or completely ridiculous, are what built our culture. Not because they were perfect, but because of how we responded to them together. And if those choices created something this meaningful here, then there's no limit to what they can create wherever we go next. Because this culture doesn't have to stay within Tosa West. It will continue with us. As we step into new spaces, whether that's college, apprenticeships, work, or something completely different, we're going to walk into environments where we don't immediately feel comfortable, where we don't know familiar faces, the expectations, or even where we're supposed to sit on that very first day. And in those moments, we'll have a choice, either to conform or to lead. I challenge all of us to lead. Bring the same energy, the same work ethic, the same willingness to reach out. The same willingness to reach out instead of pulling back. Be the person who shows up even when it's inconvenient. The person who supports others even when no one's watching. The person who keeps going even when it would be easier to stop. Because culture isn't something we inherit, it's something we make. And if there's one thing this class has proven, it's that we know how to build something that lasts. So as we close this chapter, don't just remember the events or the milestones, remember the feeling of being part of this community, the pride of being a Trojan, the moments that made you laugh, the moments that challenged you, and the moments that reminded you that you weren't doing this alone. Because years from now, when the details start to fade, that feeling, that culture will stay with you. Thank you to the faculty who pushed us and taught us all that we possess today, to the family members who supported our every move, and the friends who made every day a little bit more meaningful and a lot more memorable. Congratulations, class of 2026. We didn't just make it through Tosa West, we made it better. And wherever we go next, that's what we leave behind and what we carry forward. Thank you for your time and being the great people I got to spend the first chapter of my life with. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Jameson Betcher, and tonight I have the honor of introducing our esteemed superintendent, Dr. Demond Means. Since graduating from Concordia University, he has served students as a teacher and as a superintendent for over 2 decades, promoting diversity and opportunity for all students. He was a founding member of the Closing the Achievement Gap Consortium, which now has over 40 schools around southeastern Wisconsin working towards the same goals of equality for all students. As the superintendent of Wauwatosa, Dr. Means has faced adversity with having to pass 2 functional referendums, adding to $124 million to run the district. He is now working to continue to improve the district by consolidating excess funding, updating old curriculums, and changing high schools to function on a new system similar to the block schedule. As the head of the school district, Dr. Means has always been committed to the community, starting the Tosa Proud initiative and showing up to see students everywhere from snack time at Underwood Elementary to the American Public Policy Issue Fair this spring for juniors. He has also helped to lead the United Negro College Fund Walk for Education in Veterans Park as the Grand Marshal and Scholarship Night for both Wauwatosa West and Wauwatosa East. We are all appreciative of his efforts and commitment these last 5 years in our district. Now please join me in giving a warm round of applause for our superintendent, Dr. Demond Means.
Good evening, distinguished guests, school board members, faculty, proud families, and most importantly, our graduating class of 2026. Today we celebrate not the ending, but the beginning. And I want to share with you a truth about nature and one of nature's most remarkable creatures, the eagle. I know we're in the home of the Trojans right now, but I want to talk about the eagle. When a storm rolls in, like the storm we had last night, most birds take cover. They hide in the branches. They hide underneath leaves. They wait for the trouble to pass. But the eagle's different. The eagle does something very extraordinary. The eagle doesn't run from the storm. It rises in it. The eagle uses the very force of the wind, the turbulence, the pressure, the resistance, to soar above the clouds, to heights no other bird can reach. The eagle does not fear the storm. The eagle needs the storm. The eagle embraces the storm. Graduates, you are eagles. The years that brought you here this evening without turbulence. You faced pressure, you faced setbacks, and moments when the storm felt overwhelming. But look at you now. You rose. Every challenge you endured was not a barrier to your success. It was the wind, the very wind beneath your wings. So as you leave this place this evening and step into your future, please be assured that storms will come again. But just like nature, just like the eagle, you will rise above it. There will be moments of uncertainty, of injustice, of doubt. And in those moments, the world will tempt you to hide. The world will tempt you to be silent, to stay safe, to make yourself small. Do not do this. You demonstrated during your years here at West that you are eagles. The world needs you to rise. The world needs your voice. So, class of 2026, soar high, speak boldly, and never, ever be afraid of the storm. I want to say thank you to all of you for your leadership, for building an outstanding culture here at Tulsa West. Congratulations to the class of 2026.
All right, good evening. My name is Paige Recke, and I'm one of the exceptionally proud associate principals of Wauwatosa West. I'm especially proud of this class because my first year at Tulsa West was your first year at Wauwatosa West. After 17 years at McGuanago, I took the big leap to come into Tulsa West, and you guys have made me nothing but proud from that moment forward. So thank you for that. It is my, yes, for you. Absolutely. It is my sincere pleasure to introduce our commencement address speaker, Maximilian Decker, known as Max in the halls of Tulsa West. The earlier moniker I acknowledged him by is more fitting to the human he is: mature, refined, articulate, dare I say grandiose. Max is wise beyond his years, an old soul in the best type of way. Yet he somehow blends this profound knowledge and poise with an incredible approachability. I was privileged to view Max in his element when I was honored to chaperone the APSE national competition this past spring in Washington, D.C. Max easily transitioned between the role of calm and collected mentor, engaging and affirming peer, and borderline rabid supporter. This ability to move so fluidly between roles as needed will undoubtedly serve him incredibly well in his post-secondary plans to pursue a degree in political science and history at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. He developed a plan for what life looks like beyond these past 4 years, and he held onto it with both hands, making intentional choices to ensure that plan came to fruition. His commitment to leadership is evident through his commitment to National Honor Society, as a Link Crew leader where he served on the first ever leadership board, transitioning in our future Trojans. APSE is both a unit member and mentor, and serving as our school board representative this past year. These were nicely rounded out in his role as captain of the Tulsa West Rock Climbing Club, member of German Club, and as a cast member of our Tulsa West Theater productions of Hello Dolly and the nationally recognized Dear Evan Hansen production. I myself can spot a fellow busy bee from a mile away, but my question is, when did this kid ever sleep? Max took his time at West and squeezed every Trojan green drop out of it. Please join me in welcoming our class of 2026 commencement address speaker, Maximilian Decker.
Hey everyone, very grateful and excited to be here with you tonight. The ancient poet Rumi once wrote, "You were born with potential. You were born with goodness and trust. You were born with ideals and dreams. You were born with greatness. You were born with wings. You are not meant for crawling, so don't. You have wings, learn to use them and fly." How do you achieve greatness? This is a question with many different answers and many different approaches, and throughout history, many have come to different conclusions on this basis. Greatness can be defined by milestones throughout one's lifetime, one's status in a specific part of their life, or perhaps a keystone accomplishment that cements one's names in the history book. I believe our graduating class has achieved greatness, both collectively and individually, in our own way. Over the course of 4 years, we have evolved into a group of people that each provide a unique perspective to the greater goals of the world. The ultimate goal of secondary education is to create the next generation of society, to create the next generation of leaders and innovators, and our class is no exception. Our class has countless graduates going into the workforce, graduates going across our state, graduates going across our country, and graduates attending some of the most prestigious universities in the world. Each one of us has carved out our own path and have achieved our own greatness. Each one of us has cemented ourselves in our own stories as people who have set our dreams into motion. Our class has played a hand at being state champions in basketball. Our class has made it to levels of national recognition in APSI, dance, and theater. Our class has been state qualifiers for mock trial, the Wisconsin Civics Games, and track and field. We've had countless students earn honors and scholarships for their academics. We've had countless art pieces win scholastic awards, and we are known not just in our immediate area, not just in our state, but nationwide as a cornerstone of youth excellence. We have proven time and time again that we are a force to be reckoned with. We have shown time and time again that if we put our minds to it, there is nothing standing between us and what we want to achieve. John Adams once posited, "Let us tenderly and kindly cherish, therefore, the means of knowledge. Let us dare to read, think, speak, and write." As we venture on to the next chapter in our lives, I urge you all not to forget what these 4 years have taught us. I understand that the experience of high school has meant different things to all of us, and some may look back on these years less fondly than others. I hope I speak for everyone, however, when I say that these years have led us to grow for the better. Use what you have learned to get yourself further in life, and in 20 years, understand where these past experiences have led you. Follow what you find passionate, regardless of what that might be, and have no fear in doing so. Endings are always the hardest part. It's easy to start a story, and it's even easier to spend chapters upon chapters explaining that story. Together, 4 years ago, we started our story. Over the course of these 4 years, we've spent hours upon hours defining ourselves, whether that be academically, socially, or with our personalities. If each one of us set ourselves now beside ourselves at the start of freshman year, it would be hard to tell that those two are the same person. Now we must write our own ending. However, think of this ending as merely the closing of one chapter. Another chapter will begin, another story in the long collection of stories that make up our lives. One story's ending does not have to be the ending of everything within that story. The connections you've made, the things you've learned, will carry over into every chapter of your life, and the advances you've made in this chapter will lead you further through the next chapter. Finally, don't be a stranger. Say hello if you see your classmates around. Catch up for a bit, reignite past connections, and never forget where you came from. Congratulations to everyone in the class of 2026, and may whatever ventures you take in the future lead you to success and prosperity. Thank you.
Good evening, graduates, board members, Okay. Good evening, graduates, family, faculty, and staff members. This person that I'm introducing is definitely an introvert. He's kind of like a snapping turtle. He comes out, gives a quick talk, and goes right back in. But in those short moments, he always notices the small things and still manages to put a smile on our faces. He's the kind of person that wants to see you accomplish great things, and also the type of person that waits the day before to ask his wife to be his Valentine. And of course she said yes, so you're welcome. I guess you can say he's pretty funny too. Earlier in January, he comes up to me and says, "I just signed your graduation certificate." And it kind of caught me off guard, but I was just happy to be graduating. And then a few weeks later, he goes, "Are you a senior or a junior?" I just looked at him and laughed because he told me 3 weeks ago he signed my certificate. But even in the midst of those moments, he still manages to drop down a wrestling stance every time I see him and continues to uplift West in his own way. I am so honored to introduce our principal, Corey Gala.
Thank you, Kira. Good evening, graduates, board members, faculty, parents, families, and guests. This is a portion of today's program where we take the opportunity to recognize the students of the class of 2026 who have distinguished themselves through academic achievement. We are about to recognize the members of the class of 2026 who have achieved at the highest levels. At this time, I would like to recognize our seniors who have made it to the head of their class by achieving the highest cumulative grade point averages among their peers. Given our transition to weighted grades, this year we are recognizing the students that have earned these honors in the weighted and the unweighted systems. The class of 2026 has 7 valedictorians and 2 salutatorians. Their specific designations are noted in the program. At this time, with Jamison Betcher, Connor D., Katrina Kadings, Max Kuhn, Samantha Pila, Leo Piontek, Henry Rommelfanger, Louisa Schmidt, and Josie Schwacke, please join me on stage. Please give them a big round of applause. Students, as you hear your name, please take a step forward. Using our weighted system, the 2026 valedictorian this year is Connor D. And our salutatorian using the weighted system is Josie Schwacke. Using the unweighted formula that has been used in the past, our valedictorians are Katrina Koenig, Max Kuhn, Samantha Pila, Leo Piontek, Henry Rommelfanger, and Louisa Schmidt. And our salutatorian using the unweighted system is Jamison Betcher. Let me say a few words about each of these students. Jamison Betcher will be attending Marquette University in the fall to study history and music theory. Connor D. will be attending the University of Wisconsin-Madison in the fall studying biology and chemistry. Katrina Koenig will be attending the University of Chicago in the fall studying molecular engineering. Max Kuhn will be attending Yale University in the fall to study applied mathematics, statistics, and data science. Samantha Pila will be attending the University of Wisconsin-Madison in the fall to study biology. Leo Piontek completed a dual enrollment program at MATC and will be entering the fire service after graduation. Henry Rommelfanger will be attending the University of Wisconsin-Madison in the fall to study aerospace engineering. Louisa Schmidt will be attending the University of Wisconsin-Madison in the fall for international studies. And Josie Schwacke will be attending the University of Wisconsin-Madison to study psychology. Please join me with a huge round of applause to celebrate these accomplished scholars, valedictorians, and salutatorians of the class of 2026. You may return to your seats. There are many other members of the graduating class who have distinguished themselves in the classroom and through service to others. You may have noticed that a large number of graduates are wearing a white stole over their gowns. This stole signifies that they are members of the National Honor Society. They have earned that membership by maintaining a cumulative 3.5 grade point average. Would the members of the National Honor Society please stand at this time? Let's give them a round of applause. And please remain standing.
Yeah.
Another distinguished group of students are those who are wearing a gold cord around their necks. Please stand if you are wearing a gold cord. This signifies the receipt of an honors diploma. In order to qualify for this special diploma, the students must maintain a cumulative 3.33 grade point average over 8 semesters and successfully complete an advanced placement course with a 3.0 grade point average for both semesters. Would the members of the class of 2025 please stand and remain standing? You have earned the right to that gold cord.
We said 2025, supposed to be 2026.
2026.
Okay, right.
The truth is out. Would the members of the class of 2026 who have earned the right to wear the gold cord and receive an honors diploma who are not already standing, please stand. Please join me in congratulating those students. And our third group of distinguished graduates in 2026 are those graduating with honors. They can be recognized by the gold tassel that they are wearing on their caps. In order to graduate with honors, a student must have a 3.33 grade point average. With those students with honors, please join those already standing and let's give them all a big round of applause. You may be seated. Before proceeding further, I would like to recognize a very special group that will leave us to continue on a path of service to all of us if they enlisted in the U.S. military. When you hear your name, please stand to be recognized. Please hold your applause till both are recognized. Alexandria Baker is joining the U.S. Air Force National Guard, and Jamison Lee joining the U.S. Navy. Please stand. Thank you both for your future service. And at this point, I'd like to welcome Evan Sulk for our next introduction. Evan.
Good evening, everyone. Students, families, teachers, staff, and all who help the shape of Class of 2026. My name is Evan, and it's an honor to welcome you to this celebration of everything we've worked for, everything we've overcome, and everything we are serving to next. When the application said all students are required to submit an application to be a truant speaker, I knew I wanted to share something meaningful because my journey through the Wauwatosa School District began the day I turned 3 years old. When Ms. Lovett and Ms. Key welcomed me into the early childhood program at Underwood, they taught me to be independent and to dream big. Just like my peers, Down syndrome does not define what I accomplish. Over the years, Team Evan grew, PT, OT, speech, and later Miss Shelley, who helped me learn to advocate for myself as a person with parallel hearing loss. I learned beside my classmates, my friends, suddenly there was possible when my parents were kids. So the schools also gave me friendships that shaped my life, especially through Miss Sandy's Summer Adventure Club and the Dre family, who supported me in school and beyond. And when I arrived at Tosa West, out of Farwell Middle School, familiar faces like Miss L and Miss Mihalo made it feel like home. Then I found the CU program, and everything changed with the support of my friends and the leadership of Mr. Sheldon. I had opportunities people only dream of. I like too much speed and hearing challenges, and I shall perform on stage at a National Sesame Festival and the City Awards. That's the magic of this community. As we begin tonight's ceremony, I hope my presence here says a message about inclusion, acceptance, and the power of believing in one another. Because our class is stronger when every voice is heard. Now it's my honor to introduce this year's class speaker, chosen by the class of 2026 because of her warm and serious nature. She is a teacher who cares as much about her students' emotional well-being as she does about their academics success. She is always willing to listen to students whether they need to talk for victory